Here's an example of a real medical malpractice case that was just referred to me in Philadelphia. And this is the type of thing that I see all the time, unfortunately. I mean, this case is actually one of the worst I've seen in a while, but a 50-year-old gentleman had a blockage identified in one of his arteries in his neck. So he went into a hospital in the Philadelphia area to have that clot basically removed surgically. So he got the procedure. He was told it was fine. He was sent home. The very next day, he felt sluggish. He felt off. He didn't feel right. He's having a hard time getting around. So his wife said, "You need to go to the hospital." They called an ambulance and they transported him to a major Philadelphia hospital. He was there with his 19-year-old son, and who immediately communicated to the triage nurse that he had just had a cardiovascular surgery done to remove a clot in his neck, and all the symptoms he was feeling, he wasn't feeling right. He sat there in the waiting room for approximately 1 hour, despite having just undergone this serious procedure. 1 hour. And then in that hour, he's getting worse and worse and worse and worse. So they bring him to the MRI machine. They take an MRI. Sure enough, they identify another clot in his neck. And they put him in a room, and he waits more time without anything being done. More time. And he's getting worse and worse. And finally, his wife shows up, and she sees him. She says he's having a stroke. The whole one side of his body was off. He was slurring his speech, just terrible. This hospital, despite knowing that they didn't have the capacity to treat a stroke patient, didn't transfer him immediately, had him sitting in a room, but then once he got worse, they realized, oh man, we got to get him out of here. So they transport him via helicopter back to the other hospital. It's probably like a 45-minute drive at least from the hospital he was at. He gets back to the other hospital that did his procedure originally. This doctor goes back in. She does another surgery to clear the clot. She calls the wife and says, hey, everything was great. He's doing great. He came out of the OR, gave me the thumbs up. Everything's great. Come by tomorrow and see him. The wife shows up the next day, and he is absolutely devastated neurologically and mentally. He's laying there. He cannot speak. He cannot move his arms. He cannot move his legs. He can only blink. And he's remained that way for the past year and 2 months. He has a tracheostomy to help him breathe. He has a feeding tube because he can't eat. He cannot move. All he can do is blink. And somehow, these two hospitals couldn't fix this problem. And worse than that, they obviously delayed in treating the problem multiple different times because he was showing very red flag signs of getting worse and worse at 2 different hospitals. And you only get that level of brain damage if a significant amount of time has gone by without intervention. So it's a sad case. It's one of the worst I've seen in a while. And they got kids and the whole 9 yards. He was working, so it's sad, but hoping to get justice.